Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Carl. I'm a recovery coach here at Capital Recovery Center. Today is our Freedom Fridays meeting. Fridays at 1 p.m. We'll be finishing up this article that we did last week. The article is Dual Diagnosis, Substance Abuse, and Mental Health. And the article is by helpgod.org. And we're going to be starting off at signs and symptoms of substance abuse. Abuse substances include prescription medications such as opiate painkillers, ADHD medications, and sedatives. Recreational or street drugs such as marijuana, methamphetamines, and cocaine, and alcohol, beer, wine, liquor. A substance abuse problem is not defined by what drug you use or the type of alcohol you drink. The rather it comes down the effects your drug or alcohol use has on your life and relationships. In short, if your drinking or drug use is causing problems in your life, you have a substance abuse problem. To help you spot the signs of substance abuse problem, answering the following questions may help. The more yes answers you provide, the more likely your drinking or drug use has become a problem. So here's some of the questions. Have you ever felt you should cut down on your drinking or drug use? Two, do you need to use more and more drugs or alcohol to attain the same effects on your mood or outlook? Three, have you tried to cut back but couldn't? That's a good one. Four, do you lie about how much or how often you drink or use drugs? The next one, are you going through prescription medications at a faster than expected rate? Have your friends or family members expressed concern about your alcohol or drug use? Do you ever feel bad, guilty, or ashamed about your drinking or drug use? Have you done or said things while drunk or high that you later regretted? Has your alcohol or drug use caused problems at work, school, or in your relationships? Has your alcohol or drug use gotten into trouble with the law? So, for me, I think I aced the test, right? I hit on all these questions. So, and there's a couple of pamphlets and literature that you can read that really, um, it makes it surreal for you. You look at it and you're answering these questions, and it's like yes, 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 yes. So it's like I really got to take a look at it. Like I'm hitting yes on all these questions. Like I think I really do have a problem, right? For me, it was very clear. But like this really makes it when you're reading it and like understanding it, and yeah, if you say yes to a lot of these questions, maybe we'll take another look, right? The next one is signs and symptoms of common co-occurring disorders. The mental health problems that most commonly occur with substance abuse are depression, bipolar disorder, and anxiety disorders. It says treatment for dual diagnosis. The best treatment for co-occurring disorders is an integrated approach where both the substance abuse problem and the mental disorder are treated simultaneously. Whether you mental health or substance abuse problem came first, long-term recovery depends on getting treatment for both. Both disorders by the same treatment provider or team depending on your specific issues. Treatment for your mental health problem may include medication, individual and group counseling, self-help measures, lifestyle changes, and peer support. Treatment for your substance abuse may include detoxification, managing or withdrawing symptoms, behavioral therapy, and support groups to help maintain your sobriety. So this is one reason why me and my coworker, Raina, started this meeting up because um, I'm trying to show you the importance of treating both the substance abuse and the mental health aspect of it because for me, I'm trying to achieve lifelong recovery, right? So what that looks like for me is like I can't just put the substance down, right, and be clean and sober, and um, but I have to treat both. I have to treat the drug and alcohol addiction, and I have to treat the mental health aspect of it, and whatever that case may be for you, because it can change. It's different for everybody. It changes from individual to individual. Sometimes you need certain medications, anxiety medication, depression medications, um, and the drug abuse aspect of it. We need 12-step fellowships. like some of the trauma that we deal with, like we need counseling, therapy. So there's, depending on who you are and what we've been through and what we've done, it changes for everybody, right? And all pathways are welcomed. We talk a lot about that different pathways of recovery, and but the more we touch on these things, the more we obtain lifelong recovery. I don't ever want to use again, right? I don't want to die, so I have to do a lot of these things. Well, for me, all these things to obtain recovery, and I dealt with substance abuse and the mental health aspect, so I try to treat both of them as equal. Sometimes different days, I need more help with the mental aspect than the drug, but it just makes I try to spread my recovery out and touch all on these notes that keep me clean. So we'll go to dual diagnosis programs. Find the right program can help you too. Think about the role that alcohol or drugs play in your life. This should be done confidentially without judgment or any negative consequences. People feel free to discuss these issues when the discussion is confidential and not tied to legal consequences. Learn more about alcohol and drug use, such as how they interact with mental illness and medications. Become employed and find other services that may help the process of recovery. Identify and develop your personal recovery goals. If you decide that your use of alcohol or drugs may be a problem, a counselor trained in dual diagnosis treatment can help you work on specific recovery goals for both illness. So it's very important to get professional help, because we're like at Capital Recovery Center, we're peer support, we're recovery coaches. We can help you and guide you and give you a lot of resources, right? But like to treat things and to get diagnoses and stuff like that, that's more of the clinical aspect. That's like the counseling, the therapist, with treatment it talks about detox, inpatient, outpatient, stuff like that. That's like the treatment aspect of it. But we can lead you and help you and guide you and assess some things and set you up for long-lasting recovery. Experience counseling specifically designed for people with dual diagnosis. This can be done individual in a group or peers with your family or a combination of all of these. Experience counseling. So like we talk about counseling, therapy, it's all good stuff. It's all good stuff. Because we experience a lot of trauma, right? We experience the mental health aspect, and we're experiencing drug and alcohol use. That's a lot. It's a lot of stuff. And to try to fix everything at once, you can overwhelm yourself and it can lead you to relapse, so and they always say, which one do we treat first? We always get that question, and it's in articles also. And it changes for everybody. Sometimes the drug and alcohol use need to be treated first before the mental health aspect of it. It changes on different individuals, right? And but they need to be addressed. They need to be treated, and whatever that looks like for you will depend on what you're going through. So the next one, self-help for dual diagnosis. In addition to getting professional treatment, there are plenty of self-help steps you can take to address your substance abuse and mental health issues. Remember, getting sober is only the beginning. As well as continuing mental health treatment or sustained recovery depends on learning healthier coping strategies and making better decisions when dealing with life's challenges. So yeah, talking about self-help for dual diagnosis. So there he goes again, in addition to getting professional treatment. So it's always good to get professional treatment. I try to do things on my own for so many years. I try to become my own doctor. I try to diagnose myself, to take different medications. And we always talk about in recovery, about self-medicating, right? We always used to self-medicate an addiction. And that just caused more damage, right? And sometimes for me, taking medications that probably I didn't need, but I would use drugs and alcohol on top of it. So I'm combining these drugs and alcohol medications, and I'm causing a lot of harm. I'm creating more problems for myself. I'm creating more mental health, and I'm going deeper and deeper in my addiction that sometimes we don't know. I couldn't find a way out, right? Until I started, you know, I had to take some help. I had to ask for help. I had to take some guidance. I can't live off of self-will, right? And but in recovery, I can help myself today because I'm not using drugs and alcohol. My self-help in addiction was using more drugs and alcohol, right? And, but it's always good to get professional help, get the proper treatment that you need. And it's recovery is about the mental health, the mental, physical, and spiritual. We have to touch on all these things, and as long as you touch all of them things, you can have long-lasting recovery. Group support. Let's see what group support's about. As with other addictions, groups are very helpful not only in maintaining sobriety, but also as a safe place to get support and discuss challenges. Sometimes treatment programs for co-occurring disorders provide groups that continue to meet on an aftercare basis. Your doctor or treatment provider may also be able to refer you to a group for people with co-occurring disorders. Yep, there's a lot of groups for all types of support. It can be drug and alcohol based. It can be the mental health aspect of it. All kinds of types of different addictions. So there's a lot of group support, and it's always good to get family support. Always good to get a network of people that you trust and confide in, and you can talk to on a daily basis, no matter what, without judgment. All right, and that's the support that we need. So we're just running off our own juice and think we can get through life and recovery just by ourselves. It's not the case. We need help. We need support on a daily basis. While and often best in join a group that addresses both substance abuse and mental health disorders, 12-step groups for substance abuse can also be helpful, plus they are more common, so you're likely to find one in your area. These free programs facilitated by peers use group support and a set of guiding principles, the 12 steps to obtain and maintain sobriety. Just make sure your group is accepting of the idea of co-occurring disorders and psychoactive medication. Some people in these groups, although well-meaning, may mistake taking psychiatric medication and another form of addiction. You want a place to feel safe, not pressured. So yeah, you don't want to. That's why we have different support groups. That's why I have a close network of people, because let's face the facts. Not everybody can't get with everybody, right? So I surround myself with people that understand me and can help me. And I like to have people in my life that, or just like me, been through the same things or done the same things, and because they help me that way, and I help somebody else as well. I don't feel alone. I feel welcomed. I feel like people understand me. That's another thing. I felt like nobody would understand me. I felt alone. Nobody feels like this. I isolated myself, right? I was in denial. And until I started doing these healthy relationships and feeling like I'm not alone, I started to begin to change and understand that I can get clean, stay clean, and obtain some recovery. And the last part here is helping a loved one with a dual diagnosis. Helping someone with both a substance abuse and mental health problem can be a roller coaster. Resistance to treatment is common, and the road to recovery can be long. The road to recovery can be long. That little part there, it is long. It's a lifelong process. That's what I've learned. I have to be on this road, this journey of recovery the rest of my life. And in the beginning, when I got clean, I was like, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. You know, I can't, do this the rest of my life. And I didn't think it was possible. So I had to break that down and get that out of my head and say I can, do this the rest of my life. And that takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. I wish it did, but that doesn't work. And it's just helping the loved one, right? So I was helped, right? And my mom and my family never gave up on me. So that was definitely a big part of me getting clean. And taking the proper measures to get help for my mental health and the drug and alcohol addiction, right? Because I needed, professional help. I needed treatment. There's a lot of things that I needed to get clean and stay clean. I just didn't know. I didn't think it was possible. That's another thing. If I didn't see it for myself. Like everybody else can get clean and live a good life, and that works for you guys, but that doesn't work for me. And at the time, I had it because I wasn't willing to put the work in. Always went to treatment, or I went to jail for a little bit, and being absent and didn't work on anything because recovery is an inside job, right? That's where I learned too. I have to work on the insides of what was going on with me, and being open and honest with. I do a 12-step fellowship, and I was open and honest with my sponsor, like that freedom. And that's another thing I talked like when to start this meeting up, like the freedom that we can experience here. We don't have to be a slave or bound to drugs and alcohol or to our mental illness, right? We don't have to. We can cope and accept and surrender what's going on with us and like stay in the solution and get the proper treatment we talked about. Going to the doctors, getting checkups, getting blood work, doing NA, AA, or whatever support group that you go to. So these things, I have to go to counseling, therapy. So this, I have to do to stay clean. And like, if I want to live, the things I have to do, and that changes for everybody. You have to find your own niche. You know what I mean? You have to find what works for you because everything doesn't work for everybody. The same aspect of it. It's great to lose the desire to use, right? I'm not constantly thinking about using drugs and alcohol or constantly thinking I have to use drugs and alcohol to, physically do anything. Like I was physically dependent on it. So I had to have it, right? If I didn't have my drugs and alcohol, I was sick. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't going nowhere. I wasn't talking with anyone. Like nothing, life stopped, right? And I wasn't willing to do anything else without my drugs and alcohol, So from looking outside in, how much we can get so consumed and racked up and being a slave to something that it's just not even worth it. It's like it's sad, it really is when like for me an addiction and for me to be in recovery and look at the other side of it, my perspective has broadened. I'm not closed-minded to of me, being stuck in that. I don't have to be lot of it was self-induced, right? Like I told myself all these lies and built this wall up, and it kept me stuck. It kept me stuck for a long time until I got in recovery and like opened my mind and started to change, started to obtain some things in recovery that I never thought I would be able to get. And I started to understand that I can do this, right? I understand that, I need the help and I can't do it alone, but I can do all this stuff that I want to say so-called normal people or any other people in the world, I can do just as much as long as I want it. I have to be open, willing, and put the work in. I can't just sit here and say, yeah, okay, and talk a good game and not put action in. And recovery is about action. But this definitely is a good mean. I think it's going to help a lot of touching on both the dual diagnosis, the co-occurring drug and alcohol and the mental aspect of it, because I'm here for the long-lasting recovery, and I have to touch on all these aspects to stay clean and stay sober. So until next time, that was our end of our meeting. This is our Freedom Fridays meeting at 1. The article is from helpguide.org if you like this article. Until next time, we'll see you later.